If anyone had the opportunity to beat Amazon, I think it's Walmart, because they have the retail opportunity that they've had forever. They have such a great enticement for customers to shop by their stores. They have great pricing overall. They have this free delivery option, which is considerably faster than it is on Amazon. You have the ability for the sellers as well. They have the opportunity to perhaps get their products into stores. There's a lot that Walmart has to offer, and maybe they don't have the advantage internationally as much as Amazon does. Like, there's a lot more international Amazon places, but Walmart still does well. They still have like their slight thing, but specifically in the US, which is obviously Amazon's main gig, I think Walmart does have the potential to really go all the way.
Hello, I'm your host, John Cavendish, and welcome to Season 3 of the Amazon Strategist Show. The show that's all strategy with no hacks, no silver bullets, and no magic pills. Just real practical strategies to grow your Amazon business. Today, something a little bit different. Not Amazon, although we are the Amazon Strategist Show. We have none other but the amazing David Milstein, co-founder of Sellcord. So, Sellcord's only been around, well, we'll ask him the exact amount of time, somewhere between around 4 years, and they're already the absolute leader in the Walmart marketing space. So I'm really excited for us to dive in and talk about that. So David has a strong background in IT and systems implementation and co-founded Sellcord, which is a Walmart-focused agency. They've since built their internal systems, allowing them to grow at an unparalleled rate. And I saw them at Prosper Show this year. Had one of the biggest parties. If that is a good indication of growth or misappropriation of funds. Having managed hundreds of accounts and tens of listings, David uses his skills to help brands grow their revenue and, basically dominate the Walmart marketplace. So, David, welcome.
Appreciate it, John. Thanks for having me. Really excited.
Cool. So, I've got a million questions about Walmart, but could you kind of give us an overview of how Walmart compares to Amazon and how, I guess, when your team does the sales, they kind of do some comparison between the two marketplaces?
Naturally, for sure. So that's typically one of the main questions we get, is what am I expecting, what am I going to be able to get on Walmart compared to Amazon? So we generally say a good account should be kind of in the 20% of your Amazon revenue on Walmart, and that number just continues to grow. We used to, even a few years ago, we were saying 5 to 10. We're already able to push our limits, as we've just seen the tremendous growth that Walmart's pushing, specifically for their .com, for their 3P side of the business. Obviously, Walmart's been the dominator, or whatever, the most dominant player in the game from the retail perspective for the past, 20 plus years. They've been the kings of retail. They're the number one revenue company in the world. And, Amazon has been hot on their tails over the past, few years. You can see Amazon slowly catching up over there, and just in terms of total revenue. So Walmart's wait, we gotta really pivot and really make sure that we too are in the e-commerce game as a strong player against Amazon. And what's kind of nice about Walmart is they don't have to be the pioneers. I always say this, is that Amazon, they have to figure it out. They have to come up with okay, this is what we're going to do, this, we're going to do that, and they really came up with things. And Walmart's here wait, I like that, I don't like that. They pick and choose what they like from Amazon. So maybe some of the complaints that you're used to and have with Amazon, you won't necessarily have this on Walmart, because Walmart's already avoided that. So that's an interesting idea. And similarly is, I think, the perspective of how Walmart treats you versus how Amazon treats you. Amazon, to my understanding, a lot of sellers, I hear complaints these days that Amazon doesn't really care about you. They're just there for their money. They're trying to make it work, and they're even increasing fees. They're maybe suspending sellers, for things that might be, you're not really getting the support that you need. Versus Walmart, they are growing, so they're the opposite of that. They're just trying to be giving reasons why sellers should come on board, really helping them out. They have their white glove onboarding teams. They're really doing what they can to bring on, especially these larger Amazon sellers, to the platform, because they're trying to be that competitor. They're trying to be able to really break into the space, and you're not going to do that by just shutting your door to half your customer base. So it's kind of a bit of the theory of how things are coming along.
No, that's great. I think all platforms launch like that. And then eventually they get less and less friendly to the user, until eventually they take all their money and they move to the next platform.
Oh, for sure. Don't get anyone wrong. Everyone's here just for the money. Nobody's here doing anyone any favors.
Yeah, no, I like that. That's a great metric for people to keep in mind, though. If it's a good account, a product that resonates, 20% of their Amazon sales, that's a good metric. So your people that work with you, or the sellers that come across, do they tend to be really established Amazon sellers, or are people actually starting out earlier on in their Amazon journey?
Sure. So we do work with a gamut of different seller types. When we first started, naturally we were a new agency. We actually were just suitcasing around the Prosper show a few years back, just like trying to find anyone who would like sign up for us. Obviously, I mean, we still do that to some degree, honestly, but mostly we're a lot more established in how we do our sales. But when we first started, you're going to have a lot more of those like fresher clients, people that are just new to e-commerce as a whole, really trying to grow their brand. And obviously, as we've built our processes, as we've established our relationships with some of the more larger brands in the space, we're not even necessarily just dealing with successful Amazon brands. We're dealing with successful brands as a whole and just all online. Even a lot of successful purely Walmart brands have a number of clients that are exclusively like in store with Walmart. They're doing mid nine figures just in Walmart stores, and that's massive. But they still need a lot of help on their e-com, because e-com is again a whole nother platform for them. So it's a large gamut. Like I'm saying, we typically will start working with like some of the mid-tier Amazon guys. Like 7 figures is typically a good start. If you're below that, you're gonna have probably a lot of work for us. It's going to turn into a lot of work for us, to work on things. There's a lot of new things. We want to take successful listings. We want to take listings that have already proven that they could be successful on other platforms that bring that. Now, we could work with sellers of all ranges, but typically, if something sells well on Amazon, it's probably going to sell well on Walmart. And this is definitely leads into a conversation of like what products do well on Walmart versus Amazon. And there's a lot of theories over there. Generally speaking, I'll say like if your product is on that like middle range to value price point, that's typically we're going to see the easiest way to get to success on Walmart. Typically the more premium products, not saying they can't be successful, but Walmart lives by this rule of everyday low prices. Like that's their motto, that's what they go by, and they don't want to have these like more premium expensive products. And so much of the algorithm is around, having that cheaper, having that more value product. So I'm not saying, again, you can't be successful. You could always break the algorithm. You could go super aggressively with spending and like just dominating it to the top, because the algorithm's still just an algorithm, but it will cost you more than if your product was more value and did fit a little bit more into the space. So that's just something to consider when you are coming over the fence from Amazon or any other marketplace to Walmart, is kind of that more value product will have an easier time succeeding and getting to the top at a cheaper price.
Love it. Yeah. And you mentioned the algorithm. That's interesting. So how does, within the black box that is Walmart, how does the algorithm work from your understanding?
Sure. That's obviously very, very important. We've done a lot of work to understand about the ranking algorithm. The number one driver of rank on Walmart.
And now a very quick message from our sponsor, Seller Candy. Are you dealing with support issues, cases, flat files, or even account suspensions? Then Seller Candy is there for you. We take the pain away so you never need to talk to seller support again. If that sounds interesting, head to sellercandy.com to check us out and book a call with our team today. That's it from us. Now back to the episode.
The number one driver of rank on Walmart is not sales. It's not sales quantity, it's conversion rate. So conversion rate is the number one driver. And there's a few different conversion rates at play. There's just the impression to click, there's click to add to cart, and the add to cart to sale. So there's 3 conversion rates that happen over there. So it's very key that you're able to really grow your conversion rates. And something that there's obviously so much more to this conversation here, but obviously item history does play a role. But something that they do is they have this idea of a relevancy within a keyword. So a keyword has a product type. It's a categorization that Walmart has, and like this is the main product type that lives within this keyword. So if you're searching a certain keyword, this is the most common product type that you're going to find over here. All right, if that makes sense. If you're searching for, let's say, bicycles, the product type is probably bicycles or bikes or whatever it is. It's something specific. So let's say someone's typing, BMX bicycles, the product type is probably still going to be bicycles. That's going to be like a more general category. Now, like obviously that's just one example of things that then every supplements, there's so many different types of supplements. It's not going to be like vitamin C is not a product type. Vitamin C might be the keyword, but the product type will be like letter vitamins or something along those lines. So it's very key that your product that you're trying to get to rank matches on a product type level, as well as also a category path. That's a taxonomy of the listing. So really easy. Just go ahead, search the keyword, search your main keyword that you should know your main keyword just from being a seller on other platforms. You should have the insight into what the most popular keyword is. Although maybe the differences in Walmart and Amazon do vary what's a popular keyword, a customer is typically a customer. Like you're going to have typically a very similar keyword. Now, The one variance is like if you type in a keyword on both Amazon and Walmart, there are the autocompletes. So the autocompletes might skew the data a little bit, but generally speaking, it's going to be very similar. Your keywords, or you should be on the right track. So if you put, let's say, your top 3, you can look at like what the most popular product type is, what the most popular category path is, and then you should have a good idea of where to go. There's also like you could take a look. I always suggest take a look at the pricing. Look at the pricing of the top 4 items, top 10 items. Say like, hey, how am I competing with these guys? Am I significantly above? Am I significantly less? Am I on par? And that helps you really know if you're going to be able to see success in that platform, in that keyword, because that's a big component. Obviously, there's other factors. There's reviews. You want to make sure that your reviews are in a good spot. That if you see thousands of reviews on the top listings and you have nothing, versus maybe you see 10 reviews. Walmart's still new. You're going to see a lot of areas where you do have the opportunity to penetrate because there's not other listings that have that historical reviews or sales or whatever it is. You want to make sure that you're complying, obviously using WFS, the Walmart Fulfillment Services. You have fast shipping, all of these basic ideas. Walmart actually helps you out with this. They give you something called a listing quality score, which is a score like, I'm not sure if there's an equivalent on the Amazon side. I'm honestly really not that familiar. You would know much more than I would, but Walmart gives you a number that they say, this is how we score your listing. And it's the point of it is obviously for Walmart's algorithm, so they have, it's a score obviously 1 to 100, and it's based on a few different properties. One of them is being the content and discoverability. So how are your attributes filled out? How is your copy? How are your images? Just over there. And then they have another main one is offer, which is your product in stock? Is your product matching price-wise to Amazon? That's a really big one for them. If you're more expensive than Amazon, they hate that. They'll take, Amazon too hates it. Everyone hates it. Makes sense. And then also if you have fast and free shipping. So those 3 things are actually super important. Even if you are in stock, but you have like 8-day shipping and you're more expensive than Amazon, your listing is going to do really poorly. So the listing quality score is like a great way to help you, know if your listing is in a good spot, and that it all plays into the algorithm. The algorithm factors in all of these different metrics into success. So a bit of a long answer over there, but definitely covers a lot of different areas.
No, that's a great answer. Thank you for giving us the detail, because I'm sure anyone listening to this will want as much detail as possible, because we want to evaluate if it's a good opportunity. So when you're helping people that are sellers on Amazon move across, does Walmart tend to be able to take like a copy paste of the Amazon listing, or are there any keyword research tools? Like, how would you know differently if Walmart needs to be different?
Sure. So we definitely tweak things. We definitely change things up. First thing is like, there are a bunch of tools, by the way. I'm not going to discredit that. There are a bunch of tools that exist. There's these like omni-channel platforms. The only thing like I always give the hesitancy is, don't think of Walmart as omni-channel. Another marketplace. Think of Walmart as a secondary marketplace. Very much like, don't think of it as like bulk it together with eBay and all these other, Etsy's and whatever's going on, Wayfair. Like, think of it like it's Amazon, Walmart, and then everything else. Don't think of Amazon and then everything else. That's very key. Like, don't undervalue it. And so when you're coming to Walmart, you want to make sure that you are giving it the dedication for, let's say, the attributes. If you have a tool that merges over attributes, it might not necessarily do them properly. Make sure to review it. And then the copy is something that you could get away with your Amazon copy. It's something you could get away with. It's not recommended, because Walmart actually has very different style guides for how they want like the length of the copy. So the title, for example, should be considerably shorter on Walmart than it is on Amazon. Amazon does a lot of keyword stuffing in the title. Walmart, that's one of the things that Walmart saw they don't like, is there's so many memes like, here's an Amazon title, and they're just like repeating themselves like 15 times just to like talk through the whole title. But like Walmart is like, give me a concise title. This is what it is. And then the description is where you can really like use that for a lot of the like repetition and the keyword stuffing. So there's definitely different strategies for how you should do your keywords within your copy, specifically on that front. Images, I think if you have strong imagery, you should be able to succeed in all e-commerce platforms. Should be very similar with images. Obviously, I think there's some good strategies around there. And just back to the copy for a moment, the keyword research component, tools for that. So there is Walmart actually gives you a lot of this information, surprisingly. Walmart has a lot of details. It's actually one of the newer additions to Walmart, but they have an analytics section where you could put in an item and it will show you all the keywords it's currently converting for and which ones they recommend that you push more aggressively. Or you could even put in a keyword and it shows you other keywords that they think are similar, and they give you like a score. They don't tell you like the search volume, but they give you a score from like 1 to 300,000 from biggest to smallest keywords. So you actually have all the details there. They also tell you what are the top 5 clicked products per keyword. So like that's great information right there. You can see like find your competitive listings, see if you can find them over there. So there is obviously, Helium 10 is out there as well. They have Magnet and Cerebro both for Walmart. They just show you they give you what's called the search trend score, which is on a range of 1 to 100. It's based on that Walmart score. And then they also give you the Amazon search volume, which I think is super impactful because, again, it's a similar customer. So if something's really big on Amazon, maybe it'll take a week to get to big on Walmart. But don't discredit it. If you see something has 200,000 search volume on Amazon, but Helium 10 is score for Walmart is like a 20 out of 100, which is really low, maybe consider that's going to be a big keyword. So it's definitely it's important to look at outside information. There's also like analytic index. I don't know if anyone specific customers are paying for that. It's really expensive, more of an agency thing. But there's definitely general search trends are universal. They're not just exclusive to Walmart. So
So the Walmart buyer, you mentioned them a couple of times. Are they the grocery buyer who just happens to be online on the site, or is it specifically a buyer that's going to Walmart as an alternative to Amazon? I mean, from what you think or what you understand.
You're saying from like the customer perspective.
Is the customer, yeah. I mean, is it a customer that's ordering their groceries online for delivery to their house and they're just looking for other stuff, or is it like now are people going to Walmart to be like, oh, I'd like a garlic press. Rather than going to Amazon, I'm going to go to Walmart.
It's interesting, It's super. I'll tell you honestly, personal experience here. I always said like I never shop at Walmart, like even like in my day to day, which is crazy to say from my perspective. But like it's just because when I think of it, like the closest Walmart to me is an hour away. Like it's crazy to have to like drive down to Walmart. Like I have a Target 2 minutes away, or I could go to Walmart like an hour away.
Yeah.
But then like recently, I'm like, wait a second, like I've been using Walmart delivery, just home like delivery products. Like it comes to my house, it's free. It's like it's free to deliver. It takes like 2 hours to get to my house. Like how sick is that? Like this whole Amazon Prime now isn't even as good as that. And literally every product that's in store at Walmart, I could get delivered to my house, which is amazing.
Makes a lot of sense. And me and my wife get delivery from our local supermarket and local massive hypermarket, and it makes sense that there's always one like a couple of hours away, so you can actually get same day delivery. Whereas if you're ordering online, I mean, some major cities, maybe LA does have same-day delivery on some stuff.
Right.
I have same-day delivery on certain stuff, but it's not like a whole supermarket full of stuff.
It's not the same. It's not like a supermarket the size of Walmart for sure. You're definitely competing with that.
Love it. So what I'd also written down was WFS, Walmart Fulfillment Services, for anyone that hasn't looked deep into Walmart. Do you need to use that? It's like Walmart's FBA. Do you need to be using that to actually be able to rank and to be able to sell, or can you ship from other places?
Sure. So it depends. I'll tell you that. Generally speaking, it's highly recommended. We recommend everyone get into WFS. It's like the same way on Amazon. You're going to have so much more success if you are using Prime than if you're going to do just seller fulfillment. There are a couple caveats. Obviously, if it comes down to like the size of the product, like right now I'm looking to buy some patio chairs, and I see both Amazon and Walmart both suck. They both have like, both of them are like $40 delivery. I'm like, I just want some chairs. Why does Amazon and Walmart not have like a free Prime option for that? So like, it depends on who you're competing with. If you see that everyone else has WFS, you need WFS. So you could take a look at like the general WFS penetration of your competitors, and that's generally how I would start. But you want to go ahead with that. And like we mentioned before, the listing quality score, one of the impacts on that is the shipping speed. So if you have slower than 3-day shipping, it is going to impact your listing quality score, which then goes ahead and impacts your algorithm. Now, interestingly enough, even when you do utilize WFS, you might have a product that's large and they don't guarantee two-day delivery if the product is over a certain size. So they actually have limitations on that. But if you do use WFS, it won't hinder your listing quality score, even if it's going to take longer than 3 days. It's just an interesting component, because just the size of the product, and you are using WFS, so it's the fastest you could do, essentially. So there have been some other companies, that do offer fulfillment. There's a lot of 3PLs that include that. You just want to make sure that they can actually sustainably ship across in certain time frames, especially across the U.S. Not many of these companies are going to have fulfillment centers all over the country. Versus WFS, they actually have something called an ITS program, it's inbound transfer services, and where you could just send your inventory to one fulfillment center, and then they'll go and disperse it across the country. So you'll have units all around, so there should always be like a quick shipping option for everything. I'm sure Amazon has something similar to that, but that's just something that Walmart does offer to help you get that. And generally speaking, it is on par rate-wise, Amazon, FBA, and WFS. Walmart WFS.
And they charge you for that distribution to other fulfillment centers, or like is that like a free thing, or do they charge you? Because Amazon does have inventory placement service. And
They charge.
They charge significantly for it.
Oh.
Like just to share, one of my friends accidentally had it turned on, and scaling up his business. He looked back, we did his books at the end of the year. It's like, what's this $160,000 fee? Which he couldn't figure out what it was. And he's like, oh, I had inventory placement service, and that was before he started really scaling. So luckily he found it before it started charging him, $250,000, $300,000 a year, but it was a large fee.
That's all. I think Walmart charges, I think it depends on the size, but I think it's about 30 cents base the unit. I don't know how comparable that is.
It really depends on how much they want you to split it up otherwise, because Amazon, it used to be like 3, then they just get more and more and more because they want you to do the logistics for them, which is really expensive to do.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like you have to now make that choice. Do you want to ship to 3 different warehouses and cover that cost, or do you want to ship to a close warehouse and just pay the ITS? You really have to like consider. You have to weigh that. You have to really see what makes more sense for you. So it's interesting. Walmart's really trying to expand. What Walmart is actually doing is, number-wise, Walmart has the most warehouses in the U.S. from any company. Like they're massive. They have also a massive distribution network just on their 1P side. Like they've been around. They've been doing shipping for 1P products. They have many fulfillment centers and DCs, and anyone in retail will know like there's like a bunch of different locations to ship to in the U.S. So, and they're even using their stores, starting to convert some of those areas in stores to become WFS fulfillment centers. So like there's a store within, I think they say 50 miles of every U.S., every person in the U.S. So that just is another way, like they could really just have more and more fulfillment opportunities. So they really have a lot of existing infrastructure, and like they're not coming up with so many new ideas. They already have a lot of fulfillment planning, and it's just about now implementing the 3P component into that, slotting it into their existing infrastructure. So it's pretty cool.
Oh, that's super cool. Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's great that there's more opportunity and more choice and more good pricing for people all over the US. So let's switch a little bit to like, okay, decided it's a good opportunity. I figured out how to get my inventory in, got my account. Like, what would be some good like ads? What do people have to do for ads on Walmart? Is it really aggressive, or actually is it less competitive these days? And like, what would you do to launch, and what's kind of a good ongoing structure?
Sure. So it's definitely, we've been around for a number of years here, and we could see CPCs creeping up over time, especially right now, during this last Black Friday, or right now it's like in the middle of December. This last Black Friday, we're definitely the peak of spending, I would say, across the platform, just because of how much more competitive it's gotten every single year. So it's definitely still getting more competitive, but still nowhere as close to as competitive as it is on Amazon. And interestingly, many categories you could even be winning around that base bid. We've scaled up many 7-figure Walmart businesses, winning at an average CPC of like 30 to 35 cents, which is, the manual base CPC is 30 cents. So there's really a lot to do around there. And Walmart obviously does recommend, pushing for what they call a suggested bid, which is on a keyword level. The thing is, it's on a keyword level. Now, what do I mean by that is each item, like we discussed before with the algorithm, has a different relevancy to each keyword. So you might have 2 items that might both on a bid on the same keyword, but one of them is a lot more relevant than the other. I'll give you an example. You have a yoga mat and a doormat bidding on the keyword mat. Neither of them are super relevant, but a doormat's definitely more relevant, in my opinion, than a yoga mat to the keyword mat. So let's say you would have to actually spend more for the yoga mat and spend less on the mat. It's just different. That's just like an example over there, where you might want to spend more. So the suggested bid's really like very broad, and you have to consider your item towards that specific keyword. So I would always say like there's you can start slow. You can keep things going and profitable just to get in there and see what's up. But generally speaking, my recommendation is to start first with dominating on your auto campaigns, just getting your auto campaigns going at whatever the base bids, or maybe a little bit more aggressively than that. And then for your manual campaigns, that's where you want to really just utilizing the harvesting that you're seeing the data on auto. So you're like, okay, auto's giving me data, and then you can start nailing the manual campaigns a lot more aggressively. There's definitely I think there's many different strategies to success. There's many different ways to go. I personally am a fan of going super aggressive with Walmart, because as things are getting more competitive with time, especially like with more like Walmart's pushing for a lot more sellers, a lot more customers. So people hear Walmart, they're like trying to jump on it and really think of it as an opportunity. So with that in mind, like there's just going to be more and more competition every single day. So if you go ahead now and you spend a lot more today versus if you wait 6 months, it's just going to be even more expensive to do it at that point. So I say like overspend now. Even if your tacos is really bad, you have the 50 to 100% tacos, that's okay. You spend that right now, and then over the next few months start to scale back. Make sure you're utilizing like rank tracking, making sure that you are dominant in your keywords. You want to make sure you can get to that point where your organic sales are really driving the majority of your business. And off the bat, you're not going to have any organic sales. So you could go slow, and steady and be profitable the whole time, or you could just plunge, deep dive in. Again, you don't want to just go too crazy beforehand if you don't know which keywords to go after. Last thing you want to do is start spending on stupid keywords. You want to maybe use some audit campaigns or do some keyword research first, know your keywords, and then go really, really direct with those keywords. Again, this is an interesting idea, is that on Amazon, you might have a whole slew of keywords that are attributed to the majority of the sales of the product. But on Walmart, most of the sales are going to come from like 1 to 5 keywords. That's it. 5 is like already a lot. So really, if you just take even one keyword per product, you will see success. Just see like, this is my keyword, and I'm gonna really target and hit this guy really hard. And sometimes there'll be 3. Like let's say they have like a portable power bank. So there's power bank, and then there's like portable charger. Those are both massive keywords. Just focus on those 2, you're good. But don't think like portable power bank. You could go on forever like doing long tail keywords. Just focus on those like main keywords and just really drive heavy attention over there, and you'll see success. But always don't turn off your auto campaigns. You always need those just to keep on tracking and seeing what new keywords are coming up, and definitely spend across additional keywords as well. But the focus should really be targeted against those keywords that are going to be driving the most traffic.
Love it. Cool. Well, thank you. I think like anyone now who's listened to this episode can go, okay, well, do I want to settle on Walmart? How much is my revenue going to be? This is what I should do. Are there any kind of mistakes or missteps or stumbling blocks that people should watch out for if they wanted to do this?
Definitely.
Apart from just working with you, which is probably the real solution.
Of course, that's another one mistake is people who don't work with us. That's generally no. But the main thing that people don't do, and this is kind of like what I've been repeating here, is they don't give Walmart the attention it needs. They just think of it outside of like a marketplace that they have to care about. They just think of it as like this. Oh, it's another marketplace, whatever. It may succeed. And they copy their Amazon listings. They just copy and paste their copy. They don't do any optimization. They don't bother about the score. They don't use WFS. They don't bother with reviews. And like, Walmart doesn't work. Walmart sucks. You know how many clients like I've been at shows that are like, yeah, we get 1 to 2%. Did you do anything to optimize your listings? No, you threw it up. You put on an auto campaign, and you're like, okay, let's do it. Let's see if this works. Would you do that on Amazon? Would you do that same strategy? The same way that you're sitting here meticulously refining and looking at like, oh, what keywords do I want to go after? I have to make sure that my SEO is perfect. I have to make sure that every attribute last thing is filled in over here. Do the same thing for Walmart. Now maybe you could do it a little bit less if you don't have the time for it, but that's the whole thing. Give it the attention it needs. Really sow your seeds. Like really make sure that you're investing into this platform, giving it the attention, and that will lead to success. But just going ahead and just assuming that it'll be just like Amazon and the copy and paste and just not putting in any additional work into Walmart specifically, what Walmart wants, you're not going to see success like that. That's a general, most common issue we find. There's just a lack of care,
care and attention. Yeah.
For sure.
Thank you. Awesome. So yeah, thank you so much for sharing, David. It's been awesome having you on, and we have a couple more bits to get into. So, this is the part where we ask you for your debatable, or controversial opinion related to the Amazon or e-commerce industry. I know you're excited. So what would be a debatable or controversial opinion you have about the e-com industry?
For sure. So I don't think it's necessarily unique, but definitely controversial is, and it just fits the standard here, is I'm a big Team Walmart guy. There's a lot of people I meet at shows and they're like, Walmart's never gonna do anything. They're just in it for a little bit and we'll see what happens. They're never gonna actually see success. I'm not even on the team of Walmart will be a competitor to Amazon. I think that Walmart could go all the way here. I think Walmart has the infrastructure, they have what it takes, and it's just about like they're doing. Again, I think even just not being a pioneer, even just being able to be the one that has the insight into looking into what have others done and what can I do. And it's not like there's some random company. It's not like if anyone had the opportunity to beat Amazon, I think it's Walmart, because they have the retail opportunity that they've had forever. They have such a great enticement for customers to shop by their stores. They have great pricing overall. They have this free delivery option, which is considerably faster than it is on Amazon. You have the ability for the sellers as well. They have the opportunity to perhaps get their products into stores. There's a lot that Walmart has to offer, and maybe they don't have the advantage internationally as much as Amazon does. Like, there's a lot more international Amazon places, but Walmart still does well. They still have like their slight thing, but specifically in the U.S., which is obviously Amazon's main gig, I think Walmart does have the potential to really go all the way. And I'm very curious to see. Like, I don't know if it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be an overnight transition, but I would say like in the next 5 to 10 years, I'd be very curious to like come back and watch this podcast and see if how true this was.
Yeah, me too. Looking forward to it. And Sellcord dominating and being the number one agency who's bought or put out of business every other agency. Sorry, other agency owners.
Oh yeah, that's obviously our number one initiative. It's not about growing Walmart. It's about putting all 8 other agencies.
So I mean, I've seen your secret business plan, the one behind the business plan, dominate world domination. It's kind of everyone's secret business plan.
Exactly.
As long as we're adding value. Okay. So David, if people want to get in touch with you or learn more about Sellcord, what's the best way they could do that?
Sure. So you could obviously visit us at our website, sellcord.com. You could send us an email directly. You could email me directly, just david@sellcord.co.com. Either way works. You have both domains. We have just sales, info at. Any questions you have, just shoot them over to us. You could, honestly, I would suggest check me out on LinkedIn. I post content there all the time about Walmart Marketplace. If you have any questions, just comment and someone will reach out and we'll definitely get you situated. But if you want to find out all these like latest things coming up, we have a lot going on LinkedIn. So,
love it. Thanks so much for being here, David.
Of course. Thank you very much for having me, John. This was
great.
great.
And if you listen to this podcast and you like what you hear, go check out sellcord.co or .com. Either domain works. Sellcord, we've been working with them as a partner for a couple of years now, and we've only heard good things. So thank you for serving the people that we've sent over that way. And if you listen to this podcast and you'd like to review us, please leave a comment, anything that takes us up the rankings. If you're interested about what Seller Candy does and learning more about the tips and tricks that we spent 5 years putting together, we've just put together a new digital guide of basically how to deal with seller support and how to get all the stuff solved that you hate in your Amazon business. The URL for that is sellercandy.academy, no .com. Academy is a long word. I'm kind of dyslexic. But you can Google how to spell it, and then you can do sellercandy.academy if you're anything like me. And thank you for listening, and see you next week.